Yes, you heard the man. A sparkling new home ground, still very much the Eels' spiritual home as well. And they play host for the second time. On this occasion, it's the Dragons, and aren't the fans loving it? Reminders, as you can see there, the Peter Sterling stand of the history here for both Parramatta players and their fans as well. It's a home match for Parramatta this afternoon, and also for this man as well. It's a very good afternoon, Ray Warren.
Thank you, James. Yeah, it's absolutely superb, isn't it? And the fans taking to it in a big way. But today's crowd, not quite as big as it was for the opening day against the West Tigers on Easter Monday. But this is a glorious stadium. Environmentally, it's unobtrusive, it's practical, it's futuristic. So it's well done to all concerned. And they're assembling here to see this team, the Dragons, take on the Eels in round 8 of the Telstra Premiership, keeping in mind that it was against the Dragons that the Eels played back in 1986. And there's Tim Laffey playing his 150th today. Peter taking us back there, and obviously I can reflect back to Cumberland Oval, where I first called here in about 1969. And it was a dust bowl. It was an awful place, to be honest with you. And then in 86, I was here again. And to sit here and look at this tonight, or today, it's, to me, quite scary, but it's absolutely amazing. As the much talked about Clint Gutherson takes them out. Youngsters from the Parramatta Junior League being led out by some of their heroes, including young Mitchell Moses in the 7. He made a bold impression, didn't he, on that opening night here. He scored the first try ever, the first field goal ever. Finished with 19 points for the game. Mitchell Moses, there's another one that's occupying plenty of space. When are they going to sign him? And the sooner they get the job done, the Eels, the better it'll be for their very big support group, many of them who are here today. Blake Ferguson, he's introduced today to some football here at the stadium. He missed the opener. Ben Hunt partners Corey Norman, the former Parramatta half, come 5'8". And so the start of this particular game, it's underway at Bankwest Stadium here in the heart of Parramatta. And Graham it is that is put down just outside his own 10-metre line. He'll be feeling as though he's cheated a little bit there, Jimmy, because he normally is able to make a bigger indentation in that first carry back of his. Now for Vaughan, almost a certainty for the sky blue New South Wales side. Paul Vaughan walked off the mark there, nothing said, that's fair enough. Tarek Sims, he'll play it just outside 30. Sunday football right here on 9 for Chemist Warehouse. And they're playing the ball, the Dragons, through McInnes on the 40. The kick from Hunt is high and going way down to Ferguson. 15 out from his own line. Oh, good shoulder there from Blake Lawrie, the 13. That steadied him up a little bit, Blake. He's normally a little bit more imposing than that when he carries the ball back. This is Sivo, another of the Fijians, and that's Lane, Sean Lane, standing at about 199 or something like that. Junior Paulo, built more for comfort, not for speed. He'll play the ball back, and it's away from Marnie. It's gone to Alvaro, back in the side today. He's about to play it to Reed Marnie, and calling the ball as Moses, that's him. Kicks, he hooks it actually, hooks it back across the ground to Lomax. I don't know whether that's a good kick or an unintentional kick or what, but there was a bit of open space down this side.
That's a shank.
Absolutely.
Dead set shank.
How do you get rid of a shank?
Kick the ball in the middle.
This is Pereira, their leading try scorer for the year. 5 tries beside his name. Again to Graham, crosses halfway, gives it to Vaughan. And Paul will play the ball. 5 metres into Parramatta's area. The Dragons, of course, they lost their first 2 matches this year. And they've only lost 1 since that time, and it was against the Roosters 10 days ago on Anzac Day. Dragons might have put a touch on that. It went forward, so they've played the advantage down to Sevo.
Yeah, the opening 2 sets in attack, the Dragons. Seen a lot of traffic at Mitchell Moses. First set, Tarek Sims got it in. The next time, Paul Vaughan. So watch for that battle there. They'll go at Moses and get in the short side the next play. Big test for Moses.
Marnie in those iridescent orange boots. In fact, several of these players have got that colour boot on, made by Nike, I think. Here's Paulo.
Need some golf shoes.
What about Bank West? They're going to get plenty of mentions. Come to think of it, it's not a bad idea. I'll take it up on Monday. So here's Moses putting it high, and little Dufty's underneath it. Scored that beautiful try on Anzac Day. Honestly, it was a try that will go down in my memory in many ways like Eric Groth. It was a try you could never forget. His try against Canterbury. Well, Dufty's was a pearler. Talking of him, he's in this match today and he's in it again right there. Now Frizzell. What are you laughing at, Gus? Oh, it's nothing new. So McInnes now for Hunt. There's Vaughan running that angle back, cutting in against the grain, plays it in the centre of the ground. Now Norman gets a boo from the crowd. Gutherson, well, he's got the white boots on. I mentioned these orange boots. I'm glad the dummy half going in here is Salmon, and I find them very hard to identify sometimes, but Salmon has made it easy for us today. Between him and Gutherson. Of course, I'm talking about when they're running at you without numbers visible to you. So they're just outside the 30-metre line now, Parramatta. This is Alvaro. He'll play it on the 40-metre line, his own end. Play goes to the middle corridor now. The kick is going over towards the eastern side. And Pereira scampers back. He seems to always beat somebody when he brings the ball back. And that wasn't really the case that time. So that's taken care of him. Now for Tim Laffer. He's been in good form. He's put his 150 together playing for both St George, Illawarra and Canterbury, about the same amount of game. As Lomax unloads, or ball left behind by Ravalawa. Picked up then by Sevo, and he tries to make some ground, but he's got no advantage out of it.
Well, Ravalawa here had some space in front of him. And just fumbled it. It's not as though it was a bad pass. Does really well, Lomax here, just to keep Sevo. And Ravalawa is looking at his opponent rather than the ball and turns it over. So it gives Parramatta a great opportunity. This is a marvellous stadium, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Congratulations to all concerned.
So the 5'8" is standing very wide. Salmon, that's him. That pass would have been probably 13 metres. Massive pass to get the play immediately to the centre. And now, of course, they're over on the scrum line on the eastern side. Here's Alvaro. 15 out from the line. Graham Laurie, the first of the tacklers. Now Moses, and here's Paulo, and he had Salmon running on the right, he had Lane on the left. It's gone back to Salmon. It's a high ball. It's an awful ball for Alvaro, but taken by Moses eventually. He'll play the ball, tackled by Norman. So they know each other. Marnie running across the 10-metre line or along it. Sean Lane, head down, taking it towards the uprights at the northern end of the ground, the Leagues Club end of the ground. Bullet-like again. Moses got a ball away. The 12 goes down for Parramatta. Niakori. It's come out for Moses. He puts a little kick in. Oh, brave pickup by Ben Hunt. He had a had a bit of creativity about it. That set for Parramatta, and they didn't quite get the second best result.
Well, it's the offloads from Paulo. He's had a couple of them already now. Very hard man to contain. That really sets Parramatta alight when they get into that second phase sort of scenario.
Vaughan was hard with that run that he brought the ball out from the 20 with, and he was tackled by Moses. A few seasons ago, Mitchell would have struggled with a tackle like that. Ball dribbling down to Sebo. It's a little goose step in his work. I don't know what it does for you, but Campese thought it was good. This is Gutherson. And so the sound of the whistle goes against the Dragons. Too long in the tackle.
Just watching their formation here. Top of the screen, you can see Junior Paulo, the big man, on the right-hand side. Normally the big forwards like that are in the middle of the field. Just watch him. Does a bit of ball playing on the edge. Beautiful hands for a big man.
Sean Lane. They played twice last year for 1-1. Here's Gutherson, and he's got Jennings after it with Lomax, a foot race. And forced back there, but there's a penalty, a push in the back, I think.
Got some problems here for Tyson Frizzell. I'm not sure if it's a head knock or a shoulder complaint. He might be trying to mask the head knock with some sort of injury. Let's have a look. Oh, no, poke in the eye. It's a poke in the eye from his teammate. And they've called it a head bin.
He's having no luck with injuries, Tyson, is he?
There's nothing worse than that when you least expect it and you get a finger in the eye. And your vision just won't clear straight away. You get blurred vision and double vision, and you keep blinking furiously, hoping it'll clear, but it doesn't. Very annoying. Then you try to run around with one eye closed. That doesn't work either. He's trying the two eye closed method there.
The Knights had another big win, Andrew. You're happy with that? 36-18?
Very happy. It's a great game.
Very good the halfback today. He was brilliant.
They got 2 last week against the Eels, and now a big win over the Warriors.
Well, he was great last week, Gus. Mitchell Pearce.
So we'll go back to Blake Laurie as he takes the ball across the halfway. Play back to Cameron McInnes, one of 3 captains inside. Here's good ball work by the Dragons, but they put it down with Host, who's come on for Frizzell. Gutherson saying, what's wrong, sir?
Well, the whistle had gone twice before he picked it up.
The whistle was blowing well and truly before you got it.
And the referee saying the whistle had gone well and truly before you got it, as to whether or not the whistle should have been blown. Because the Dragons did turn it over. Gutherson swooped on it like a seagull on a chip.
Yeah, the advantage is there waiting for Parramatta. They're saying basically you were too late taking the advantage. So ball being fed by Salmon and Reid at lock forward. That's where the good hookers play. Now Ferguson. Joke, isn't it? Alvaro reaching out in front. He's been given a couple of awful passes. He really tested him out, Alvaro.
Well, he'll be pleased to get through the first minute. He got knocked out after 1 minute of his first game here, the opening round.
Niakura playing the ball over on the eastern side. With the people up on the high seats still basking in sunshine. Salmon again on the 30-metre line, on the scrum line, western side. Gutherson, 5 and last now. Marnie's looking for Moses. There goes Moses with the right foot kick high. And Norman tried to do a little bit of the Watusi in there, interfering with the man waiting for the ball. And here's Dufty now. Now he's on the ground and Ferguson's working him. He'll get penalised if he's not careful. This is Pereira. Dragons doing it tough to come off their line. They've used 2. They're still inside the 7-metre point. Hunter's able to get it to the 10. So they've used 3, and now they cross the 10-metre line. So now a run for 4.
Good run too.
Maroa made the tackle in the headgear. And there's a kick by Norman. It was taken high. When I say that, he was in the air. And it'll be called a dangerous tackle.
Well, it looked dangerous.
By Maroa in 13.
It looked really dangerous.
Watch this.
Yeah, you can't go in there.
The rules for that: late, dangerous, or high.
And it's a bonus for the Dragons because it wasn't a great kick. Michael Jennings picked up the ball with plenty of room to move. So we can just go down to Brad Fittler on the sideline because it feels like this ground has a great sound. It sounds good down there.
I was out here yesterday and watched the junior rep finals, and there was about 2,000 people out here, and it was outstanding. It just bellows around the stadium. The other thing it does brilliantly is the wind. Outside there's a gale blowing, but inside there's hardly any breeze. I'll tell you more about the field later because underneath it's like one of those air hockey tables where there's air conditioning underneath which takes all the moisture out of the ground. It is perfect for football. This is a stadium.
It's got a great sound.
Vaughan. Gale blowing outside apparently. It's really come up strong. Now there's a chance here. Tarek Sims for the line. Does he get it down? Ashley Klein is the referee down there.
Wait, Tarek, wait.
But they're pointing back to the 10. And they've only used 2 tackles.
Gee, it's hard to score a try these days, isn't it?
Come on, go.
So McInnes gets it on to Vaughan. Vaughan in an upright position held by Maroa. 3 gone. And here is Norman out the back. And then Hunt long to Lomax. A dummy gets it back on the inside. Hunt came at it, raked the ball out. The referee is saying there's a knock on.
Probably a little brash here from young Lomax. Mind you, had the Dragons been awake to it on the inside, there was a chance, but he did well. He filled his opposition wing up with the dummy, but I think he had to cut his losses once they'd gathered him in. He gets away from one here, goes in field. He probably goes down with it there and they play on.
I thought that was raked out in a one-on-one situation, but raked backwards. So he must have ruled earlier. Maybe that pass from Lomax went forward. Maroa it is that plays the ball. This is Ferguson. He's one of those players you don't need an ID on Blake Ferguson, do you? And here's a really strong tackle on Marnie.
Got the ball back.
Oh, they put him on the front end loader and
Wait where you are.
he went down heavily, losing the ball.
Tackle 1. On the mark. Play the ball, Tarek.
So Sims to play the ball just inside the 20-metre line. Graham for Laurie. Laurie is taken by Paulo and Lane and also Alvaro. There they are, just outside 10. And Hunt back away. Norman gets it on. And this is Dufty. 12 metres out now. And McInnes comes back to the middle for Vaughan. He had Graham running or riding shotgun for him. McInnes now behind Graham, gone to Norman. Norman to Laurie. Laurie met by Lane. Got the ball away to Dufty, then to Hunt. Double pumps and dummies. Puts the ball back and away to Dufty to Lomax. And Lomax is going to play the ball on the 10-metre line. Bit of hot potato football by the Dragons. And here's Hunt now. The important moment. Oh, what a fly from Takarangi. He went where only Eagles were allowed to go.
He's done that a couple of times this year, Takarangi. They kicked to landed on top of Mitchell Moses, and Takarangi often comes in and makes the leap for him. Brilliant stuff. Look at that, right over the top of his halfback, Mitchell Moses. They look to get a tall Dragon on top of the halfback, the Parramatta halfback, but Takarangi comes in to protect him.
Paulo. Michael Moses. Very high kick, and it's just arriving now into the arms of Dufty. That was so high. So Dufty playing it for Hunt. This is Illawarra. And they're good meters. Struggling meters, but good. At least they were safe. And here's Host. Turning on some speed. He'll play it on the halfway. Over for Norman again, to the line, to pass, and then Dufty. 40 metres away from the Parramatta line. Here's McInnes. Up with Norman again. Oh, Ferguson got fingertips on it.
He was sweating on that, Blake Ferguson. You watch this. He's outnumbered down the short side, but he doesn't even think about retreating, and he virtually dares Norman to try and hit his winger. See, they're outnumbered. Most would hang back, but he goes forward, and he says, try and beat me with the pass. He picked off an intercept earlier in the year exactly the same way. A lot of wingers defensively there, when they're outnumbered, will shuffle back and buy time. Ferguson just says, OK, you or me. Who's going to have a good day?
You've got to do your homework as a halfback. You've got to know Ferguson will roll the dice and go for the intercept.
You'd kick, Joey, wouldn't you?
Well, you don't throw long passes in the line. It's the number one rule. If you go into the line, it's either run yourself or play short. That's asking to be intercepted.
Too slow.
So penalty goes to the Dragons. We might be about to see our first points, although they're looking as though they'll keep pressing on for 6. The kick, if they take it, is right in front, and they're going to take it. We'll take a break and come back. Thank you, mate. I am, yeah. Do you want it? Share it with you.
Well, today the 50-50 raffle is for middle league and high school, currently up to $7,020. Tickets are available now on the last chance to purchase during the
So just to prove that you haven't missed anything, the kicker, Zach Lomax, is still placing the ball. The crowd lapping up this atmosphere. It's just a wonderful stadium that we've been blessed with.
It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I can assure you that the Deputy Chairman, John Quayle, is ecstatic about the finished product. I was talking to John Quayle this morning. He said, you're gonna love this, and he's absolutely right. Here's Lomax from right in front. 28 metres out. There it is. 2 points. First of the game. The NRL's first ever Magic round. That's coming up next weekend. For the first time ever, all 8 games of the round are at one venue, Suncorp. Head to nrl.com/tickets to be part of history.
You coming up, Rabbits?
No, I can't make it. I've got some plans that I can't change. Brad?
Well, we're going to miss you, Ray. I've just been thinking about your question, Gus, about the noise.
Yeah.
Now, as Zach Lomax was taking that goal, it was like I could hear every conversation in the whole stadium. It was like I could zone in on the 20,000 conversations going on. It's quite bizarre. I think I like it.
It's called head noise.
25,000 conversations.
This is Pereira, not wanting to interrupt. There's McInnes with a good run. Now Hunt.
Good kick.
Low and long. Gutherson is urgent. Oh, it's just outside the 20, I think. Yes, he's marked it just outside the 20.
It was a good kick, and it was a good time to kick. Tackle 3 after points. Puts the wingers and fullback on notice. And he's only inches short.
You know what we need on the 20-metre mark? We need a corner post.
I said that on day one when we introduced the rule, Andrew, and I will one day explain to you why they said we couldn't have one, which was the most ridiculous explanation I've ever heard.
Is it a cost thing?
No.
Oh.
Hang on, what are we leaving it for another day for?
Well, we haven't got time to explain it.
You'll both be writing it about in the newspaper.
I'll explain it on 100% footy tomorrow night. There you go.
This is Sevo on this secretive telecast that you're watching from Parramatta.
I'll give you all the good stuff at once.
Ferguson.
But we did demand a toast there on that 20-metre line on day one when we introduced the rule.
Illawarra.
And a shoulder charge here from Corey Norman.
You've got to make an attempt to tackle at least, okay? You just can't go in there like that.
Just gets himself in a bad position here, Corey Norman. Sort of more to protect himself, if anything.
Yeah, it's hardly a shoulder charge.
Warming up this game.
Looks a beauty, doesn't it?
There's another long ball for Moses, and then channeling in as Hunt with his tackle on Salmon.
That was a great read.
Vaughan, for a big man, he's busy. Now this is Terapo in 40. Always leaves an exclamation mark when he has a run, Terapo. Play by Lane. Marnie goes back into Paulo. What are we at, the 22nd minute? And the ball goes loose, scooped up on advantage, and it's gone away with Vaughan. 32 metres out from his own line. It wasn't Vaughan, it was Tarek Sims. Now was Lafai. A comment from Alana.
Thanks, Rabs. Tyson Frizzell's on the sideline. He's passed his HIA and we're just getting ready for him to come back on in a few minutes.
Okay, in the meantime, there was a bad play the ball. Really bad play the ball, but it seems like the Dragons have got a penalty out of it eventually anyway.
Yeah, the referees disagreed. The man with the whistle, or the lead referee, actually ruled knock on, and then the pocket referee overruled him, Ashley Klein. Now, it would look like he's just mucked that play the ball up.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. Here's Frizzell. You just heard from Alana. He's okay to come back. Sims. Maroa in through quite a bit of defence, and Graham gives this ball on to Lattimore. He was an Eel on debut in 2009. Jeremy Lattimore only played about 9 games. Here's Hunt getting the ball away to Host. And Jacob will play the ball 10 metres out. Now they're 5 metres out. McInnes floats a long ball to Hunt. He's gone and got a high ball to Laurie. And Laurie will play the ball. Parramatta really now under pressure, and they've given a penalty.
You've got to clear the ruck, all right? You've got some momentum there. On the line. Murata. Come on, mate. It's 10 metres.
Well, no thought of a goal here. Lomax stays put out wide.
Wait for the tap.
They can bring the tap kick as far back as they like.
Go.
So they tap it and they run up and get tackled where they would have taken the tap.
Niakora played to McInnes, and Laurie loses his footing. A couple of metres out from that line, the southern try line. Here's Graham holding it up, and Parramatta hold him up. So James Graham for McInnes. Now Hunt. Across the line, it's gone to Norman. Decoy runner, it's gone to Dufty. Dufty will play the ball 5 metres diagonally from the corner post. Lafai. Norman. Rubber kicks for Hunt. Oh, it's hit the uprights, and it's been picked up there by Salmon. Wow, that was so close.
That's right. It will be looked at. I don't
Here's
believe Dragons
the
touched
last.
the ball. At the moment,
The
it's a drop
last
out.
man that got to grab the ball was this fella, Salmon. Maroa is off for Parramatta. And this was a lovely kick. Frizzell had a shot at it. Salmon then was forced back into the in goal. So the line drop out. And here they come again with Lattimore, the 14. Only just into the game. McInnes, 17 is Leilua. 20-metre line, Parramatta's end. And here's Norman. He's busy today. Hunt got the ball. Lomax runs to the hole. He's pulled down.
Beautiful line there.
2 metres out. Zach Lomax. And there's the grubber kick for Hunt. He'll do it. Ben Hunt. He scampered after the previous one a minute ago. He's gone all the way this time to score.
Yeah, nice play. Pulled the defence apart with a nice set play to Lomax. Watch this for a line. Changed his line as the ball's in the air. Pulls the defence apart. Michael Jennings left on the ground. And then McInnes looks up. Isuzu D-Max replay. Ben Hunt follows his dummy half. Beautiful kick. Opening try to the Dragons. Beautiful touch there from the dummy half.
Brad, a comment?
I think the key to the Dragons' attack at the moment is definitely their hooker. He's doing a wonderful job. Everything's coming off him. They're all playing off him. If you remember the last set down here, he ducked down the blind and came back the other side, and Ben Hunt was waiting for him. They're all playing off the hooker. It makes everyone dangerous. And beautiful little kick there. And Micah Seaver couldn't quite get to Ben Hunt. First try, the Dragons.
It was a lovely kick, wasn't it? He feathered the ball.
Well, it was, but they noticed that Gutherson was in the play the ball as well. The fullback was up at marker. And whether or not they knew he would be there prior to play or just recognised it at the time, it's a great combination between 9 and 7.
Lomax then.
They were able to come up with that great play on the run.
In the run onside today. Trying to fill the goal-kicking role that's been a problem. Zach Lomax.
He looks a player, this young man.
Comes from Tamora as a reminder to last week. Trent Barrett, Todd Payton, I think. And this is successful.
Wait for it, Clint. Make sure you stay behind.
And back at Bank West Stadium. Kick-off is long. Down into the arms eventually of Jim Graham. He played the ball 10 away from his own line. Gus.
I think the good thing the Dragons done here is they've got over the ambush stage. When you walk into a ground like this with a hostile environment, and the Tigers found this out on opening day, you can be ambushed in the first 20-25 minutes and not recover. So they've got past that period. They lead 8-0. There's no ambush on here. Now it's just a game of football. The crowd doesn't matter anymore.
He needs to be followed, Leilua. And that's Dufty. Got footwork and power. He's got good skills, Leilua.
There's Hunt driving it down in between Ferguson and Gutherson. And Ferguson brings it back off his own line. And then he goes straight through. 3 red and white jumpers. They all tried to put a hand on him.
Did he pass that or drop it?
Gutherson.
Might have been lucky to get away with that.
Sebo.
The early kicking from Ben Hunt.
Just have a look at this.
Ferguson breaks into the backfield. Now he flicks it out.
Here's a half break here for Parramatta. Played by the 16, that is Kaufusi. Crowd wanting a penalty. It's gone away from Salmon. It's found Lane. So Sean Lane, 25 metres out from the line. They're down 8-0, the Eels. Here at home, and Moses has hit Kaufusi with a falcon. He's hit him under the chin. Give yourself an uppercut, champion. Left eye.
I just wonder how you think your teammate's going to catch it when you hit him in the head with it.
Pereira.
Going to catch it under his chin.
Leilua. So Lattimore plays the ball, and Leilua, as Joey points out, he'd know a hell of a lot more than I would. He seems like a player that would be a good man to follow. Wherever he is, sit in his hip pocket. And here's Tarek Sims getting an offload down to McInnes.
Oh,
hello, he's number 360. They'll ring the bell in a moment. This is the bell lap.
Well,
he had to find Dufty.
Dufty was on the inside there in space.
To Hunt. Now for Norman. He took a look over the shoulder. He said, Dufty, are you there? Oh! Ferguson up there with a beautiful take. He had a couple of runners there that were real dangers. And Ferguson put in a massively. This is Gutherson getting tipped on his back. Now it's come away from Ma'u. His left leg. God, he's got some bandages on it. Now, this is Terapo. Now Salmon gets a kick in from just on his own side of halfway. And Dufty gives it to Ravalawa. He's galloping across or diagonally across the game. Got the ball around the corner. And he's picked up Pereira. He got the ball. He was standing for half an hour. He got it to Norman. He fends away. Ferguson's got him. He got the ball back on the inside for Laffey. He's turned Gutherson inside out. Given the ball to Dufty. He's in again, the little fella. Dufty gets another one. Brilliant work, Norman. Great work, Ravalawa. And anybody else that took part.
Well, this is the try of the season. The try of the season. And dare I say, it's two wingers that combine. I've always said wingers should never pass to each other. They should never come together at any stage. Ever. But have a look at these two. Picked up by Dufty, gives it to Ravalawa. Now both coaches have got their heart in their mouths. Ravalawa out of tackles, gets it to Pereira. Pereira runs into the line. He's going to look for an offload. They're all saying, no, play it. Gets it to Corey Norman. He runs into the backfield. They're all saying, go down, play it, play it. He says, no, I'll just flick it in field. Laffey gets it. They're all saying, play it. And he just flicks it back out the outside. And Dufty runs around and scores the play. Luckily, they're not listening to us coaches. All the coaches are saying, hold on to it. Don't do anything stupid. Flick pass. Don't do anything stupid. Whatever you do, don't pass it. Go down, go down, go down. Flick pass. And on they go. They just all caught the disease by then. Corey Norman said, I'm not going down. Tim Laffey said, I'm not going down. And Dufty said, you little beauty. He started it. He had the ball first and followed everyone right up the field.
Oh, that is Champagne Gould. That is Champagne Gould. He's put an end to any relationships between wingers.
They should never pass to each other.
We saw it last week.
Yeah.
Anzac Day against the Roosters. They ended up in the Noble stand.
From right in front then, Lomax adds another two. He loves his work. He loves his work. He loves coming off the bench. What happens? They bring him off the bench and he's had a few whiskies and milk with his wheat picks. Oh dear. I'm still laughing at my good friend and co-commentator. He's only done one thing wrong, really, and that is he was consumed by rugby league. He was eaten by rugby league. Just absolutely loves it. They put us together on the planes when I was flying with him, and my God, it was a long flight. Listening to Rugby League upon Rugby League.
Backwards first, but you've lost it on the ground.
Okay, let's get back to this.
Okay, shot clock on.
Clock's on, boys.
Let's just try and be a little bit sharper with these lost ball calls. Get a direction in quicker.
Well, that's a good lead now, 14-0. Look at these. It's just beautiful, isn't it? It really is a credit to everyone.
When he wasn't talking rugby league, he was silent for the entire flight. You were sitting next to the other Gus. Moses, Illawarra. So they're just outside 20, but they're also in a bit of trouble. 14-0. And this is Terapo. Just inside the 20-metre line. He'll play it to Mani. Mani goes behind Kafusi. It's come across to Ma'u. And Ma'u playing the ball for Mani again. And he hit that at speed, Kafusi. Didn't want to be a defender in front of him, and McInnes was right. Oh! Mani has snuck over and put the ball down. Mani, it was so simple. There's this gap appears. Mani says, why not? And he puts the ball down, and Ashley Klein says, I think you've got to try, son.
The Dragons players.
He just wants to check that he maintains possession. But he sneaked one here, and that's no problem. He's absolutely sneaked one, and that's a valuable try. Just in the shadows of the half-time break.
Reid Marnie maintains possession of the ball and grounds it in the in goal. We have a decision.
The Dragons just totally overread the play here. They're looking at all the players lined out to the right-hand side of the field. And the little dummy half, who's a cheeky little bugger. He's feisty, he's competitive, and he loves to have a crack himself, and he got them there, Brad Fittler.
Well, for the first 35 minutes, I thought the majority of the fans here were the Dragons fans. But they've just had nothing to cheer about, Parramatta. The moment little Reid Marnie ducked in from dummy half, the whole crowd went to their feet, brought them right in. And on the D-Max Isuzu replay, it just shows you got to watch the ball, you got to defend the ball. He brought them all to their feet, little Reid. They're back in it.
He did it against the Tigers as well, from memory. Little barge over.
That was on his 21st birthday too.
It's a school of knowledge here. Now Moses to convert.
Right! Jacob, keep looking for us on the turn. Right, Corey!
Welcome back. And, a penalty has gone to Parramatta there. Obviously offside at the kickoff.
Can you believe that?
I thought they'd forgotten that one. And the line dropout one. Remember that when we had to put up with that? I thought they'd forgotten all these.
Well, this will be a big moment if Parramatta can score again. And we go in at 14-12.
So Lane takes it ahead.
Listen to the crowd now.
14-6. There's the chance. Terapo, Lane, out to Jennings. Jennings got the ball away and to ground to Sevo. 5 metres out. Parramatta getting this unexpected chance in front of half-time. That's Ma'u. 12 out from the line. Played for Mani, the try scorer. Moses gets it away to Kafusi. He's right in front of the uprights at the Leeds Club end of the ground. Ma'u again, out the back, a speculator. Comes down and goes away from Moses. On to Salmon. It's too... I was going to say it's too hard. but it was run dead by one of his teammates. The St George Dragon player was Lomax.
Yeah, beautiful footballing instincts, this young man, Jamin Salmon. I know he's football well because I've been watching him since he was 9 years of age. But he is a real footballer, got great vision and all the skills.
Where did he play his junior footy?
De La Salle, I think, at Carrington.
De La Salle in the Cronulla Junior League.
So this line dropout is a good one. Plenty of energy about it. And that's Kafusi, Oregon, his Christian name. Now for Terapo again.
Doesn't he run hard?
Penny Terapo runs, as you say, like a tornado. Moses gets it on to ball out there is with Niakora. He's on the 10-metre line, and 3 tackles gone against the blue and gold. It's come from Salmon. It's out with Terapo, but he's got the company of Host, it was. Now it's gone from Gufferson, and Kafusi again looking to shovel it. He did. Unfortunately, it's a knock-on.
Well, they've got these forwards here, Parramatta. Nakora, Marawa, Terapo, Kafusi, Manu Mahu. I reckon they run a competition of who can just run the hardest. They're all built the same. They all charge the same. None of them have got any fear whatsoever, no thought of self-preservation. And they've all got a little bit of an offload at the back end of their run. At that time, Kafusi just tried a little too much, but it was a tough little period there for the Dragons to contend with.
They're not frightened to gamble, are they? They'll sometimes throw the speculator when it wasn't necessary. They really don't die wondering. This is Laffey.
I wouldn't go away because this is going to be a scintillating second half.
14-6 as we come up to the siren for half-time. So there it is, the referee calling a halt. Play the ball wasn't complete. So he waves players off for the half-time break with the Dragons leading 14 points to 6. Ben Hunt and Matt Duffy picking up tries for the Dragons. And a shot there looking back over the CBT of the Parramatta City. It's all gone up really.
It's changed, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's around about the same length of time as it took to build the stadium. A lot of high-rise here at Parramatta as we come back for the second half of what promises to be a really big finish here. 14-6. The Dragons leading. Tyson Frizzell is gone for the afternoon. He succumbed to that eye injury. So no more Tyson Frizzell. That's a big body blow for St George Illawarra.
They just turn the lights on.
Yeah, the lights are just starting to cut in as Gufferson plays the ball. It's gone to Salmon. Salmon takes it down on the 30-metre line, and he'll play the ball just off the scrum line down the eastern side. Lane showed the ball, but then tucked it back under his wing and took the tackle.
I love a back row that will demand the ball down a short side. There's not enough of it.
Moses goes high. He's gone down to Laffey, and he's allowed really to make a comfortable catch. And then he shrugs away from Blake Ferguson, which is a pretty good trick to get rid of Ferguson in any circumstances. But it looked like the tackle had been well and truly made. Pereira on the 30 now. His own end, the second tackle on this set for the Dragons. Tarek Sims. 14-6 with 2 tries to the Dragons. Hunt and Duffy, their 2 smallest players. And talking about being small, Reed Marnie scored the Parramatta try. And so we're at 14-6 on the halfway line, and Vaughan rolls the ball up high. Taken down eventually by the low tackle of Terapo. Norman, he's had a busy afternoon. And it's gone down to Ferguson, his kick. And Blake will play it back inside the 20-metre line. Parramatta will run there for Sevo. And Gutherson comes out of dummy half. He streaks into the backfield. They're not going to get him. He's 20 metres out. He's taken it down to a lower gear and dives in to score. Gutherson. He was the one that made the break against the Tigers, wasn't he, that put Moses over?
Well, both Parramatta tries have been the same. Little sneaks from dummy half. One was half a metre, the other one was 80 metres. But it's the same thing. Just a bit of laziness at the marker area. Gutherson comes out for an investigation and finds fresh air, no fullback at home, and sprints down the middle of Bankwest Stadium to score underneath the posts.
Well, it's the fullback, Matt Dufty. He's at first marker. You see him there, the fullback. He's got no idea what he's doing at marker. Look, he's looking around. He has no idea where the ball is. And Gutherson, he sends a message to the administrators here at Parramatta.
Oh, yeah. Show me the money.
What are you doing letting me come off contract?
Absolutely. Brad Fittler sideline.
Yeah, well, Penny Terapo played a nice part there. He just got tucked into the markers of the St. George Dragons. And I was trying to listen to your wonderful commentary then, Rabs, but the noise of the crowd was deafening. It was like a scream. Come out as Gutherson ran the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. And now Moses kicks this to make it a 2-point ball game.
So 14-12 coming up. What was his name, that fella? Jerry Maguire, wasn't it?
Stay behind!
And back at Bankwest, the crowd still really applauding the work of Clint Gutherson. New nickname for him, Jerry Maguire. As it goes away to Ferguson, and there's the metres gained leaderboard. Gutherson 162, exactly double that of Mako Sevo. So players just outside the 20-metre line. The Eels enter the ground, repeating. Tyson Frizzell gone for the day. Ball played by Ma'u. Here's Gutherson again. And over the top of the head bandage was Host as the ball went away. And Parramatta will play it right in the middle of the ground on the last tackle. Salmon it was. And then a little run by Marnie before he stopped, and he actually chipped it over their heads. And it's come down to Dufty, and Dufty is taken by Lane and Terapo.
He was disappointed, Gutherson. He didn't get the ball. He snuck down the short side. There was a 4-on-2 for Parramatta. Missed an opportunity there, the Eels.
Ravalawa. This is Pereira. Held by Kafusi. Down low, Moses over the... Oh, Leilua, beautifully tackled by Moses. Down around the bootlaces, he brought him down. And now Vaughan plays the ball, it's gone to Hunt for the kick. Gets an awkward one away, and it's gone down to Gutherson. He's running over towards Sevo, and Sevo's got Jennings outside him still. Sevo's through. Sevo's gone inside the 40. He's still got Jennings with him. Will he use Jennings? He doesn't have to use Jennings. I'll do this my way. And Sevo scores. Jennings is exhausted trying to keep up. What a run from Sevo.
Well, a completely different complexion on this game now. And again, it's Gutherson from the backfield. Pumped up, full of energy, full of confidence. And picks up the big Fijian winger. I don't know if he could hear that Michael Jennings was inside of him or not, but he never even looked once. Gutherson takes the grab by Suzu D-Max replay, gets across. Mako Siva has got himself into good position now. It's just under the post for Jennings here. But he just says, I'll just swat this little fella away and I'll swat him wide again and then I'll go and score myself.
FVG down the tarmac.
Oh, Buller, Alana.
The Dragons have been a very different team towards their attitude down here since Gutherson's try. They've been walking around with their shoulders down and they've lost that intensity that they had and that aggression that they had in defence. They're going to have to change their attitude to get back on the scoreboard.
And look at Brad Arthur.
Fijian wingers. Second biggest export out of Fiji.
Well, he was actually, he started at Gundagai. He came from Fiji to Gundagai. Then he came into the New South Wales Cup, I think St Mary's and Mounties, and he ended up in the Panthers New South Wales Cup team. And boom, he's just arrived now.
Yep. As Moses steers it between the uprights, taking an edge of paint at the same time.
Behind the kicker this way, Corey. Stay behind the kicker.
So the kick-off to get us into the next segment of this incredible game. At the moment, we've seen a turnaround of 14-6 at half-time. It's now 18-14 in favour of the Eels. And Ferguson will play the ball just outside his own 20, a run for Terapo now.
Well, 4 minutes before half-time, it's 14-0. And the Dragons are really on the front foot. That Reid Marnie try, quite crucial. And the whole complexion of this game has changed completely.
And this is probably the chief leader of it. Clint Gutherson will play it right in the middle of the ground. Marnie gets it away. Salmon puts the ball end on end, dribbling down the ground, taken by Dufty. Dufty's able to beat one of the forwards that came up quickly. In fact, it was Jennings, not a forward. And then Dufty is run down by Sivo. This is after he's gone through a nightmare trying to stop Sivo. And Sivo has ankle tapped him and stopped his run.
Well, he comes off the top turnbuckle here. This is rock and roll wrestling. Have a look how high he comes down. Sivo, he jumps over Salmon. Splash. He's a big man, isn't he, Sivo?
Agreed and big.
Just keep talking through what you're saying.
They'll be absolutely dancing in the village in Fiji.
Just wait, Matt.
Watching the exploits of some of their young boys. 18-14 then. And a little break in play with the injured Matt Dufty and the Dragons trying to recompose. As it comes out to Hunt and he goes short to Blake Laurie. Paul McGregor's side doing it with 16 from here until the end of the line. This is Norman just outside the 30-metre line. Some ominous-looking clouds coming in across the stadium. Here's Laurie, held by Lane and Ma'u, and a penalty.
Short line, not quick.
Well, I've still got a feeling that something spectacular is going to end this game. I don't think it's over by any stretch.
This is Laurie.
But I do think the Dragons need to score next. They can't let Parramatta get 10 in front.
So Hunt towards the corner, able to get a ball back. McInnes, they switched it back to the left side now. And Laurie it is that will play the ball. McInnes shaped to give it to Vaughan, went to Hunt, then has gone to Norman, now to Sims. And Tarek just a few metres away from the line. So McInnes goes really long into Norman, who goes the same to Hunt, and then a longer pass out to Lomax. Lomax so close. Play back then for Ravalawa. Oh, that's an awful pass to throw to Hunt, but he's got the ball back to Norman. Now to Vaughan, and Vaughan goes down on 5. So Norman's calling it. Here he is with the ball. He goes a face ball across to Laffey. Gets it back. Sims was there. Sims puts a kick in, and Lane will watch it go. Well, that was patience personified by Sean Lane.
Well, I say he's got a touch on this. He might have got a touch on this. In fact, they've ruled line dropout. Let's have a look. The last little bounce. And he's saying that's hit his shin.
Yeah, so you've got to wait for the ball to bounce outside the dead ball line for it to be complete. If he's got a nick on that, which he has, I think they've got the call right. So it was impatience, if you like. But no, not really. For a big man like that, he had a difficult decision to make. But I think the referee got it right. He touched the ball before it grasped over the dead ball line. So here's Vaughan on the 20-metre line. So 18 plays 14. 11 and a half minutes gone. Second half of Chemist Warehouse Sunday football. Leilua picked up and put down. Tackled over there effectively by Mia Corey. And here's Laurie, who's been busy. In fact, that busy that it's taken him down right into the goal mouth. McInnes back for Hunt. Long ball from they got 2-on-1, and Ravalawa would go in and score. Fiji on the far side. And Ravalawa puts it down for a try. It's 18 plays 18.
Lovely play. You would have liked that ball, Joey.
Yeah, beautiful. Great decoys on the outside, which hold Michael Jennings. Ball in front. Ben Hunt, look at the two decoys here. Isuzu D-Max replay, which holds Michael Jennings. And the other Fijian goes in the corner. But Sivo, he leads his mark on Corey Norman. Freddie?
Well, that was a beautiful ball. They're all so flat, and that allowed Norman to get on the outside. There's Corey Norman getting Sivo'd. And then Ravalawa just a stroll to the line. But the ball across the back of the two decoys, Norman's so flat, and that allows him actually to get outside Jennings, who's a real speedster, and have the 2-on-1 with Ravalawa. Great try, great set play.
It's a head clash here. Watch Sivo. Oh. I reckon if there's one head you wouldn't want to hit in the NRL, that would have hurt. Beautiful passing out in front.
Lovely ball from Ben Hunt, putting them in a 2-on-1 situation, and then, as I said, it was a case of Fiji on Fiji after. That's a good line of Brad's. Norman was Sivo'd by Sivo.
Well, his previous long pass to that side, he hit Lomax, who cut Michael Jennings in two, and he was defended from the inside, and Jennings said, well, I'll get Lomax again. This time Lomax was a decoy. And Norman comes from the far side to cut the link.
It's a good test here for Zach.
He's a lovely goal kicker. I think he's got to lower his ball flight a little bit, but he kicks it very, very high.
There it is, and it's away. No goal.
Stay behind! Stay behind! Stay behind!
So Gutherson at 18 all kicks off down to the southern end of the ground, and Laurie comes back with a great gusto. Alana.
Corey Norman's left the field. He copped a whack from Sivo's right shoulder. He's in getting checked by HIA, and they're also worried it could be potentially a fractured cheekbone. So we'll let you know what happens there.
That's rotten luck.
Yeah, well, what do they do with the side? I'd imagine maybe Luciano Leilua might end up in the 6 role.
Well, Aitken has gone out there. That's the first thing I can tell you. Here's Vaughan.
Can Lomax play 5'8", Gus?
He can play anywhere, but I've still got him over there.
And Hunt's kick going down and into touch in goal. So it's a 7-tackle set now for Parramatta, with Ben Hunt on camera, just giving it a little bit too much energy. And now Blake Ferguson. There's been a lot of highlights in this game. Probably not in the package as much as normal as a bloke called Blake Ferguson.
Yeah, well, it looks as though Ben Hunt has come to the left-hand side of the field to defend in that where Corey Norman was defending, and Zach Lomax, as Joey pointed out, has moved into the right-hand defensive position, normally taken by a half, for Ewan Aiken to take up the right centre position.
Sean Lane, he had the head down, and Michael Jennings was wanting the ball badly. Now Maroa, they're 30 out, they're in the middle of the ground. McInnes making the tackle. Here it comes, out from Moses. It's gone on to Niakora, and 20 metres out from the line. He'll play the ball on 5. The commander watches this fellow Moses, and his kick is not that brilliant. And oh, Lane dropped it. It went behind him. It's play on. Salmon puts a kick on it, going down towards the dead ball line and made dead. Dead by Dufty. So it's a line dropout. Well, they got out of that cheap, really. They dodged a bullet.
He didn't panic. The ball gets bumped back to Salmon by Lane, and just watch the young 5'8". Doesn't panic. Beautiful touch on the ball, shapes it, and just gets a repeat set. Nice play.
I don't know whether he bumped it back to him, Andrew. I think it went straight through the net. Big Sean Lane. There's another shot looking across the top of this wonderful stadium, Bank West, and at the same time showing just how rapid the growth is proving here at Parramatta, of it developing its own skyline. 20 metres out. And so it was Moses, and there's Ma'u on the charge. Gutherson was with him. They're 10 out. It's 18 all. Maroa in an upright tackle will play the ball 2 metres. Oh, he's lost it, but there was a hand on it.
That was in there.
Ashley Klein has ruled against the defender or the marker, and they're going to take the 2. So 18 all after 57, Gus.
Yep. Still think we're in for something spectacular. They're tough penalties, those ones. They really are, because you're defending close to your line. You've got to tackle the ball. You can't afford an offload. You've got the noise of the crowd in the background. You've got referees calling held. The ball comes free, and he's got to make a decision. And this one's going to cost them 2 points in the lead. The lights are effective, isn't it? Beautiful.
I'm just thinking back to the Sevo tackle on Norman, whether or not it was the shoulder attacking the head or whether it was the head clash. I thought it was a head clash rather than a shoulder. Point being that if it comes up in further discussion, you can't attack the head with the shoulder. And Moses adds the 2.
Well, it's a big moment in the game because Corey Norman is crucial to this Dragons side, and all the weight of all expectation now goes to Ben Hunt. Look at that, beautiful. That's where I grew up, Rabbits, Parramatta, and it has changed so much during that time.
Yeah,
It will only change even more into the future. A few more high rises are planned for the area, and
Stay behind, guys.
this beautiful stadium.
Stay behind.
well, I'm proud to say I've lived in the area. Here it is again.
Oh yeah, it's a head clash.
I think it's the head. I live in the area where when people talk about CBD, they're talking about Parramatta these days. They're not talking about the city. There's a ball out in front of Jennings, and Jennings gets the ball away to Sevo. It might have been knocked out by Ravalawa. Referee is getting an appeal for 6 more. And he's ruling that the ball has gone forward.
Yeah, we're having a look at Gutherson's work here. He gets an offload. Well, he gets the ball. Two hands, releases it. Makes a fend. Watch this. Two hands, fends off, and then just goes whoosh. Long ball on the outside. Which then gets the error, but on the outside, they just chewed up 20 metres. He's not afraid to pass the ball, Gutherson. That was beautiful play.
So Macca's Thursday night footy is Titans up against the Sharks. These are all at Suncorp, and you'll see them at 7:30 on 9. 5 and 3. Macca's Thursday night, Titans Sharks Friday night, VB Friday night, Sea Eagles Broncos, Chemist Warehouse Sunday footy, Rabbitohs Cowboys, 3 o'clock from Suncorp Stadium. So Moreau offloading to Ma'u. Manu about to play the ball, just a few metres into Dragons territory, and Marnie puts it down over to Pereira, who's 5 metres out from his line, runs away from Moses, then he beats Marnie, and eventually he's pulled down there by Junior Paulo. Ewan Aitken, who finished up on the bench today, as Paul McGregor needed Lomax in the side for his goal kicking. But he's a very, very competent player, Zach Lomax. I don't mean that to be disrespectful. But Ewan Aitken, it's only 12 months ago, people were talking Origin about him. Here's Graham, shaping to give it and then taking the tackle. 40 metres out from his line. Here's Hunt, and he kicks it from on the 40-metre line. And it's gone down for Sevo. It's a dangerous practice, kicking it to Sevo in his form of tonight. Particularly in broken play, you've got to go down the track with one line, that's for sure. Jennings. Marnie having a look around. Who am I going to? You, Gutherson. So Clint up towards halfway. Takaranga.
Just feel like the Dragons have lost a little bit of their fizz at the moment.
2018. Paulo gets it to Maroa. A ball that was best described as flat. 30 metres out now. Here's the kick for Moses. Sims is taken in, but Duffy's underneath it. And Duffy comes away to be taken by Niakora just outside his own 10-metre line. And here's Pereira, monstered by Lane. Got away from him and Maroa. Taken by Ma'u. Hunt gets the ball on. This is Laffey. Right on the 30-metre line. He's able eventually to get the ball away. Somehow or other it hadn't touched the ground. McInnes. Hunt now. And the referee is giving a penalty here to Parramatta.
There's no attempt at all there.
No attempt to play the ball is the ruling. Straight between the legs, tunnel ball, and he's penalised.
Well, that just interrupts their momentum.
I've seen a couple of penalties that seemingly have been reinvented. That one, I'm not talking about that one, but offside at the kickoff. That took us back to when they were penalising that, penalising the bejesus out of it, really. Moreau and the line dropout. 15 out from the line. Parramatta leading by 2. And here's Moses off his left foot, running in a cramped area with Junior Paulo close by. Marnie drops it down into the lap of Paulo. That's how close he is, the big fella. Marnie again, deep and high to Moses. Moses back for Gutherson. Look at them come at him. And then a third one comes in. So eventually he took Laffey, Sims and Pereira. Gutherson gets up. And here's Moses. He puts a kick back into the corner. Here comes Ferguson. Ferguson's got the ball. He's gone over to score. Ferguson's done a blacklock and a Mundine. He's done everything.
Okay, onside.
Has he got a try?
We have a try. 6 tackle.
Well, this is amazing. from
Make
Blake
sure that he doesn't
Ferguson.
knock the ball into a Dragons player.
Because for all money on tackle 5, they're going to kick the other way. Some Dragons pressure
Feels
on the
right side
kicker.
kick chaser cleared as onside.
Makes him kick to the right side. He keeps onside. Now he'll get the leap over Pereira.
We're looking to see whether it came off Ferguson onto Pereira. And I doubt that they got enough evidence to overrule the on-field decision from Ashley Klein.
Blake Ferguson makes contact with the ball. It does not hit the Dragons player.
Well, there it is. He's ruled in favour of Blake Ferguson.
He regains possession.
And he's staying with the on-field call from Ashley Klein.
Grounds it in the in goal. We have a decision.
24-18.
Yeah, I spoke to Brad Arthur in the pre-season, and I was asking him about Blake Ferguson. Here we go. He said, how's Blake Ferguson doing? He said, I'm blown away. I've been blown away by how hard he trains and how he drives the other players at training. Isuzu D-Max replay. Moses puts it on the spot. Ferguson climbs high.
Let's stay with him.
Have a look at this.
There we go.
He said he drives everyone at training, drives the standards. He said he's really impressed. Look at this.
Brings back fond memories watching this backward somersault.
I wonder what he thinks about that front backward somersault.
Brad Arthur. Probably jealous.
Well, he's had ankle problems in the off-season.
Probably jealous he can't do it himself. Here's Moses to try and convert to an 8-point lead.
Stay behind, guys. Just wait, Zach, for the block. Stay behind.
And back at Bankwest Stadium, in front of a crowd of around 25,000. I didn't jot down the exact figure, but we'll get it for you. It's a crowd of around 25,000 here, with a capacity, I think, of 30,000. 29,000 saw the opening a fortnight ago. Parramatta and St George Illawarra, they haven't played in Parramatta for something like 3 years.
Well, I can't see the Dragons getting out of this unless Corey Norman can return. I don't know if Bradley Fittler has any update there. But
Well, the update is I don't think he'll be coming back. He's got a suspected fractured cheekbone.
Here's Parramatta with the ball going over to St George in this changeover.
they've done well, Parramatta, haven't they? Down 14-0 and very much on the back foot. That Reid Marnie try, that was so crucial.
There's a big kick coming at the end of this set. If they can roll through down the field. Big kick here coming up for Ben Hunt. Could be a good period coming up for the Dragons to build that pressure.
So Hunt goes out to the right for Lomax, and Lomax is taken by his opposite number, Michael Jennings. Michael just getting up, and Ewan Aitken was off and gone. He's recalled.
Yeah, it's unravelling now. When you get that little shake of the head from the coach, you know things aren't going well. And just in their eagerness to do things too quickly, Zach Lomax comes up with a little bit of a bobble.
You know what happens here, Gus? He's got that sticky spray on his hands. When he puts the ball down to play it, the ball sticks to his hands and goes back up. If we get another close-up there of Lomax trying to play the ball. The ball sticks to his hand and then goes up when he pulls the hand away from it.
I used to hate that sticky spray.
I used to hate it too.
It used to be on your hands till Thursday.
And it stunk.
Here's Marnie for Paulo.
You couldn't get it off.
And so it's Salmon throwing the dummy. And playing it on the 30-metre line, pulled down eventually by Host as they pump away at the blind side, and it's Lane leaving the ball behind. No, it's a penalty.
I love a back rower that demands the ball down the short side. There's not enough of it in the game.
That was accidental.
Sean Lane does it. Now, I don't think greats come from it today other than this penalty. But to have a back rower that will demand the ball down a short side to ball play, hold the ball out in two hands, is a great quality. I love it. There's not enough of it.
Some of you may have thought, as I did, that it was a one-on-one, but there was a second man involved in the tackle. It was a steal, and a penalty goes with Parramatta, and Lane will play the ball right in front of the uprights. 10 out. Moroa runs a decoy. It goes out to Paulo, and Paulo a couple of metres out from the line. He's getting high minutes out of junior Paulo, Brad Arthur. Now Moses, and away for Salmon, who stops and props. He comes back and he eyeballs Blake Laurie. He says, "Would you like this dance?" And he'll play the ball 10 metres out. Here's Marnie, and it's gone to Alvaro. And Alvaro, he falls short. You can see they're very close to the line. Marnie sweeps it to Moses. It's with Takarangi. Get my eyes on Niakora, whether or not he obstructed. 5 gone now. Play back to Ferguson. Ferguson finds his halfback. He puts a little kick in at the uprights. It's on the ground. There's a chance there for Parramatta. Let's see what happens here.
Okay, we're back to tackle 1.
Gutherson was doing the celebration dance.
We have no try.
No try.
Well, I think this ball bounces over Dufty's head. I know Dufty's only a little fella, but he goes to field the ball. He's not sure if it's going to hit the upright.
Eels left side kick chase are cleared as onside.
Watch Dufty here. He comes in and it goes boom and bounces over his head.
So then Moroa has a grab at it. There's no part of him that you can force.
Tepai Moroa loses possession of the ball and does not regain it before the ground. We have a decision.
Well, that's a let off for the Dragons.
Well, he hasn't got the sticky stuff on his hands.
No.
I tell you what, I've had a few nights out with you. You never seem to drop a schooner when you had that stuff on your hands.
That's a big offence in Cessnock.
Wait, keep jumping, guys.
If you give him a medieval slip through his finger, his hand only takes schooners.
This is Aitken.
Those days are gone.
Oh no, there's good ball. Mummy's ball. There's Host. 35 metres out. Just the sort of young man you want your daughter to bring home. There's Graham.
Coming up to the last 10 minutes, they need a score here, the Dragons, to get within range.
I thought you can say you need a schooner. As it goes from Leilua out to Hunt, and around him comes Dufty. And Dufty's about 35 metres out from the Parramatta line. We've got 26-18 on the scoreboard in favour of Parramatta as Hunt bullets the ball across, and here is Lathai, 18 metres out from the line. Play back to Pereira and now to Hunt. And Hunt goes back, and it's picked up by Parramatta's Takarangi, I fancy. No, in fact, it is Niakora. Yeah. And now for Ferguson.
Scoreboard pressure. It's getting some errors out of the Dragons.
Paulo. Oh, good work. Gets it back then to Marnie, a little hurdle.
It's been very good, Paulo.
Now for Alvaro. Runs at Laurie, and Lomax is in there. Jacob Host, a little piece of the defence. Across the halfway they come. Salmon holds it back. Goes across the face of Jennings to pick up Lane. He's 35 metres out, 4 gone. And now here goes Jennings slipping out from dummy half. Getting it to Gutherson. He's got the ball to Marnie. Marnie look to his right. Nobody there. 5 gone for Parramatta. Gutherson goes to the line. Puts a kick in. Did he play at the ball? Yes, he's restarted the tackle count.
He's everywhere, Gutherson. He's just floating around the ball.
Alvaro. This crowd will be even more stunned than they have been for weeks. There's the lack of a signature for this kid, Gutherson. To this point in time, as far as we know. Marnie fires the ball to Moses. Moses to Jennings. It might have gone forward. Here's our man, Sevo, going in for a second.
That's right.
It may have been a forward pass, but we remember the bunker can't rule on that.
Down the back of it and then pass. Start try.
They're saying Moses goes behind.
Back or four. We have a try.
No, they're saying
Confirm
try.
that Mitchell Moses doesn't run around the back of his own man.
There was a question mark on Moses. There was a question mark on the last pass. But the bunker can't get involved in that.
No, it's try.
And the runner runs through the line.
Mitchell Moses passes before running behind the lead runner.
So Sevo...
He's a finisher, isn't he?
Sevo has got himself two.
Michael Sevo grounds the ball in the in goal. We have a decision.
30 plays 18.
You know what I like about this play? Moses. Moses just wants this ball. Well done. This ball gets thrown, and watch Moses. He just says it's my ball. That ball was going for the 5'8" there, Salmon. And Moses just accelerates into play. Isuzu D-Max replay and says, no, this is my ball. This is about your dominant half. Look at him getting around. Stretches out. No, my ball. Great play, Moses. And then Sevo. What a finisher.
Well, as we've seen with the Eels, they've been going win-loss, win-loss. They had a sensational opening to this ground a fortnight ago where they blew the West Tigers off the park, beat them 51-6. And then went to Newcastle last week, flat as a pancake, spilled their lollies and lost to the Knights up there. Now they're storming home here again in front of the big home crowd. I guess the challenge for them will be to take this sort of form on the road when next they play away.
Which is next week against the Storm in Brisbane, Gus. And then they go to Townsville to play the Cowboys. The kick is wide, and 30-18 is the score. Brad, sideline.
He would have liked that kick. They would have taken more than two tries out. Have a look at the Jennings pass here. Now, if Sevo's within a couple of metres, this is an easy pass. But Sevo's 10 metres away, catch and pass. That's a tough pass to throw with no momentum.
Stay behind.
Just put it on his hip and just shot it out. Nice finish by Sevo. There's the left side pair there, becoming a real force in the NRL. What a ball by Jennings.
He's refound some of his best form, hasn't he, Brad?
Yeah, he is. He's doing his job in defence too. He's really aggressive, and he's been up against a lot of young centres. He gets in their face, and you know, he's held his nerve to an attack. He's still got his speed, and it's his combination now with Sevo that's working a treat for the Eels.
Here's Paulo. McInnes has to go up around the ball to shut the big man down. Played from Marnie, it's found Alvaro, and he takes a hit from Host. There's the ball raked out. It's a penalty against probably Jacob Host. And Marnie is off and gone. And another penalty. High tackle on Marnie.
Well, they might just temper their enthusiasm here and stretch the lead beyond 12. Not that I feel as though they're any in danger of losing, but they'll do the percentage play and extend this lead to 14. They were 14-0 down. Now with 6 minutes left on the clock, they could well be 14 points up.
And I love watching Reid Marnie play. You can see he just loves playing. There's not a place he'd rather be than out here playing footy. With enthusiasm. Saw a couple of weeks ago when he scored his try against the Tigers. It was great to see. He gets a penalty for his team. Talk about enthusiasm. This young man's got plenty.
The intriguing part was the party of players that stood over him who broke out into laughter until they were sure they've got a penalty. And here's the young fellow that has just brought the penalty for Parramatta. And Moses to make it 32-18 and absolutely sealing this one for the Eels, who trailed just before halftime 14-0.
14-0. I think
Moses successful this time.
I think the Corey Norman injury was crucial when it occurred.
Parramatta's road ahead. Storm in the Magic Round in Brisbane, then the Cowboys in Townsville, Then they come back home to Panthers here, and then Rabbitohs here, and the Sharks
Stay behind,
away.
guys! Stay behind!
It's the Eels road ahead.
Yes, the Dragons try to get to 18 all, and Ferguson's done it again. He's going to score.
Yeah, Ferguson. He's got a chaser in Dufty. Ferguson has to pass. The ball taken by Pereira miraculously. Now he turns defence into attack, and the ball goes into the middle of the ground to Ravalawa, but it's been called back. It's been called way back.
Did you see how high Blake Ferguson got when he caught that ball?
Get more there.
It's the second short kick-off in a row he's caught.
Yeah, it's deliberate. Yeah. Who's the player? I don't know.
It's a sin
Turn the
bin.
player there, Chiz.
This could be a sin bin.
It's interesting listening to the second
Who's the
referee
player,
talking
Chiz?
to Ashley Klein. Klein said, "Who's
Jordan.
the player?" He said, "I don't know." So now they've put Pereira
Jordan,
in the bin for 10. That would have been given to them by the bunker.
It is Jordan, yes?
Well, they're ruling that Pereira has either held back or pushed
Look, I don't
the
believe so.
support player back on the
No,
inside.
I actually think the pass is forward.
Well, he doesn't.
It doesn't give us the opportunity to score.
It's just in the battle to get the ball,
Well, he's reached over him to catch it.
they just clip each other.
Just stay here, Bucky.
I don't think there's any hands in this.
Just go there. No, back here.
But he can reach over him to catch it.
I think it was more to do with the push in the back.
I don't think he pushes him.
I don't think he does.
I think they
I was just
knock
gonna
legs.
say, if it was a push, it was a powder puff.
But he's reaching over him to catch the ball, and he caught the ball.
Absolutely, he's entitled to contest the event. Here it is again.
It's a powder puff.
And here goes another chance for Parramatta. Just a metre out from the line. St George Illawarra down to 12.
They're short here.
Rather spuriously, I've got to say. Here's a long ball from Manu. Manu. And it's picked up by Hunt in the in goal. He's in trouble.
Well, they're running downhill now, Parramatta. They've got all the momentum. The Dragons are beaten. The Dragons' heads are on the bus going home.
Stay behind. Are we in position?
In position.
So here's Ben Hunt with a little dribbler kick out of the in goal, and he's got the ball back. Oh, in the world, Ben Hunt's not going to provide a trick or two, even in the face of defeat. 32-18, a significant scoreboard. And Laurie will play the ball. This is McInnes. It's gone out through Hunt, and it's found Dufty. Tarek Sims is the second rower on this side of the ground. So Vaughan, it's been a terrible day for the Dragons injury-wise. Tyson Frizzell succumbed at half-time to an eye injury. Then a head knock to Corey Norman. A couple of good players. And here's the ball coming into Host. Dropped it on his left foot. Was a deft little kick by a big forward. It's still there. There he is again. He's had another go at it. Host, but Moreau's got the ball for Parramatta.
Well, they're going to be hard to beat here, aren't they, Parramatta? This crowd certainly does give them a lift. And
it's Sevo.
It's been a brilliant second half from them. $20 points to 4 in the second half. Here he goes, Gutherson again.
Got a ball from Kane Evans. He stayed alive. And the ball has come back down now to Mahu. Held by Hunt and McInnes. Play on the halfway line. 32-18 in favour of Parramatta as they drop it down into vacant pasture down there. Ravalawa's got the ball. Taken by Moses and Lane.
They're full of running at the back end of the game, aren't they?
This is Aitken. So Laurie. Ma'u with a swinging arm that, fortunately for Blake Laurie, missed the mark. And here's Vaughan looking to unload. 25 out from his own line. We've got a minute and a half to go. Pereira's in the bin. And as I said, Frizzell and Norman were lost in transit for the Dragons. So they're punching away now with 2 unavailables and 1 in the bin. And the second half has been all Parramatta. 14-6 at halftime in favour of the Dragons, and 32-18 now in favour of Parramatta. It's Kane Evans. Very few minutes in this game. That's the 30-metre line just in front of him. To Salmon, 5/8, and then Moroa. Ball has gone forward and taken by Lomax, playing the advantage with 30 seconds to go.
Well, it's been a very fun Sunday afternoon football, hasn't it, Rebs?
Absolutely enjoyed it immensely, with Ravalawa sprinting away, getting the ball back on the inside, and that's Ewan Aitken trying to bust free. He gets a ball away. It's come back down to Ravalawa, but the referee calls a knock on, and he'll call that will be enough, I would think. 5 seconds of the match officially remaining, but there will be no need for a restart. Gutherson salutes this crowd of 25,000, parochial as they might be, but they've won in a very big win again, 32-18. The only lapse they've had in the last 3 weeks was against Newcastle last weekend. So they go to 5-3. It's a good start for the Eels. In fact, this year was the 3rd time since 2006 they've been 4-3. Tonight they're 5-3.